Welcome back to the Talk Shop. We are in Studio 255 at the Laramie Plains Civic Center, brought to you this segment by Marty Annenson, H&R Block. H&R Block supporting Trunk or Treat Laramie all 8 years previous, and this 9th year, she's back at it again. She's doing your taxes in the key month. Well, she just had a deadline October 15th for your extensions. And H&R Block, just behind Sonic, your place for reliable tax advice. And that comes from Marty Annenson and H&R Block. We appreciate her support of Trunk or Treat. The 9th annual coming up October 31st, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you are interested, get details at trunkortreat@mail.com. Yeah, spit it out. Annual fundraising events continue, and Home on the Range Animal Havens. Pam Brecken in Studio 255 right now. And Pam, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
It's wonderful to have you in studio. I am doing well. I had moister skin this morning as there was mist
Yes.
across West Laramie, and as I came along Snowy Range Road, I enjoy. We need the moisture, they say.
We do, and you don't have to shovel rain. So
And,
that's a
and
good
this
thing.
you don't have to shovel. And for all those impervious surfaces, let's move into fundraising. How about a summary on the Good Times raffle? What can you tell us about the Good Times raffle? Did we have 5 winners?
We did have 5 winners. We raised a little bit over $2,700, which was great. Had 5 excited winners, and I know several of them have already started to enjoy their prizes, out to dinner and picnic tables and.
Don't be modest, Pam. You had more than 50 groups and organizations that donated collectively more than 6,000 in prizes.
We did.
For the fundraiser.
We did.
So you're closer to 10,000, young lady. You're absolutely doing things that it takes work to make opportunities sometimes, and that's one of the things that the Good Times raffle succeeded in marvelously. What's going to be done with those funds for Home on the Range Animal Haven?
We will buy hay and supplements for our animals. And this weekend, actually on Saturday, we're having kiddos from UW come out for the big event. They're going to be putting up some new gates for the goats. So the community is very giving and supportive of us, and we couldn't do it without all of the good folks of Laramie.
What other organizations do you depend on year round? What volunteers? What groups help out Home on the Range?
Well, we work with, like I said, the big event, and then we have a core group of 3 people that have been with us since 2012, and they come out once a week, sometimes twice a week, and clean stalls and keep the poop in a group, so to say. They're out there rain, shine. Last year they were out there on Christmas Day. So it's volunteers like that really help us out.
Nothing more important than keeping it all together. So fantastic. Dooley Oil, Stage Point Federal Credit Union, Grand Avenue Dental Care, Laramie Auto Center, Pole Mountain Pharmacy, and Quick Draw are just 6 who are invested in an upcoming event. Hurrah for the holidays. Tell us about that annual fundraising event coming up November 1st.
So, hurrah for the holiday. Hurrah stands for Home on the Range Animal Haven. Kind of a little twist on words there.
Yeah, HORAH.
Yeah, hurrah for
I
the
like
holidays.
that spelling.
Yeah.
Good.
So it will be our 3rd annual family fun event. It's out at the fairgrounds this year.
Albany County Fairgrounds
Albany
Activity
County,
Building or
yep.
elsewhere?
Nope, the big building at the fairgrounds.
Very
the
nice,
main
okay.
building. We take up half of the main building. We have all kinds of crafts for the kids to do, educational tables. We'll have a discovery station, which is pretty cool. We have some high-powered microscopes from the university, and kiddos can look at the difference between donkey hair or sheep hair under the microscope and just see, and it's pretty cool because sheep hair is floofy, and that's what, keeps them warm.
Floofy. I'm looking it up in Webster's. That's good. Entertainment for All at Hurrah for the Holidays, this annual fundraising event at the Albany County Fairgrounds with crafts, games, discovery stations, food, fun, and more. Who's doing the food out there?
A good friend of ours is going to be doing some pulled pork for us. We're also getting some hummus and dips. We'll have chips. We have water for the kiddos, and then, like you said, quick draw will be outside with coffee and warmness for the adults. Games, oh my gosh, we'll have so many games. We have scavenger hunt, bingo, we'll have cornhole, pin the tail on the donkey, the different crafts. A good one that all the kids love is a booth called Know Your Poop. Once again, poop. Kids love poop. So we have different examples of poop, and the kids have to guess whose it is. And then they get a little sticker, I know my poop. So we have lots of fun things like that. Ornament.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, ornament making, wool ball making, coloring pages, reading, pet rock. This year we're working with YCAP. They're going to have a table there, and they're going to be helping kiddos paint pet rocks. That's back. What's old is new again. So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Providing Home on the Range Animal Haven, providing sanctuary for neglected, abandoned, and abused farm animals and the humans who interact with them. Also supported by Riverstone Bank, State Farm, Thaxton Insurance Agency Incorporated, Tough Guys Landscaping and Lighting, and the Mortgage Source Incorporated. These are just some of the fine organizations and businesses that collaborate to make what happens at Home on the Range Animal Haven possible. Where fundraising happens by ticket sales.
Correct.
And there's an advanced ticket price. There's a price at the door. The first 100 kiddos receiving a prize. Tell us about that.
They do. We have little, I call them schlep bags, little bags that they can schlep all of their treasures home with them. And they have some stickers in them. They'll have a newsletter in them so folks can read more about what we do out there, the recap from last year. And then they can gather all their ornaments and cookies and pet rocks and pine cones and all the good stuff that they can get there, take it home, and it's kind of like a goodie bag. It's kind of like Halloween Part 2.
I'm thinking this bag is going to be perfect for many things coming up. This is a treasure bag. This is what it is,
yep.
and it's marvelous that Home on the Range is doing. Hooray for the holidays! Hurrah for the holidays! November 1st, 11 to 3 p.m. And you say it's the third year.
It is the third year. Yeah. First year we did it out at Black Fox on Welsh. And then last year we moved to the fairgrounds. And this will be up our third year at the fairgrounds. And like you mentioned, tickets, you get a discount if you buy them early bird.
Tell us the site that they can scan. Well, you can scan the talk shop. I put the poster there. You can scan that QR code there for information. But it's going to take you to a website, and that is?
Our website is simple, LaramieHomeOnTheRange.org. And go there, and it'll be on the front page, and you can get your advance tickets for $10. And day of, they're a little bit more, they're $12.
There's so many good organizations that are supported by so many good businesses and individuals in our community, and I'm glad to say that Home on the Range Animal Haven is getting support from the city of Laramie. And tell us about some of that that supports the endeavor as well. Maybe it's Albany County Commission.
Been lucky enough to receive grants both from the city, the community funding grant we got 5-6 years I think in a row.
Fabulous. What's that money going towards?
Once again, feed and support.
Always got to feed the foundation.
Yep, we have 19 special little animals out there that we feed. We have 3 big horses, 5 ponies, 5 donkeys, and 5 goats. And they eat a lot.
Give us an idea. Give us an idea of the volume of food that's needed at Home on the Range. Just 1 month glimpse, 1 day glimpse.
One day would probably be a bale of alfalfa for the goats, In the summertime, we pasture a lot. This year it's been kind of difficult because pasture wasn't real good with the rain that we're getting now in October that we should have gotten in May and June. And they probably have 2 bales of hay for the horses, and then a lot of them are older, so we do supplements. We do bags of starch that Deb mixes, makes a mash for the older guys. Some of them don't have teeth, so it's probably about $200 a week, $200 to $300 a week to feed everybody out there.
And you mentioned Deb. Tell us about her role in the organization.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
So Deb Roberts, she is the caretaker. She lives out there. She takes care of everybody in the morning, and then she comes into town and she swims dogs, takes care of people's dogs. She does hydrotherapy for dogs and makes all those happy. And then goes out in the evening and takes care of everybody and feeds and doctors all the animals. So it's more than a full-time job out there, and she takes care of everybody by herself, and that's where our volunteers come in to help with maintenance, keeping the barnyard clean, building gates, fixing fence, helping trim hooves. It's kind of hard for one person to trim a goat hoof, so we have some kids that come out and help, and shearing the sheep and all that stuff. It's a lot of work. Deb's amazing.
Tell our listeners, if you don't mind sharing a story of a surrender story. Tell us about a story of one of your tenants at Home on the Range Animal Haven. How did they come to find their way to the Haven?
It's pretty much word of mouth, and they'll find us. So one example is Bambi. He came a couple years ago. He's a Nubian goat, and they thought that he had gotten butted by someone else in the herd. So when he came, he was still young. He was very thin. He had some, they thought, spinal injuries or whatnot, so he was pretty wobbly, couldn't really get up, couldn't walk or whatnot. So Deb doctored him back to health, did a massage on him. We figured out a little harness for him. One of the engineering students from UW was a volunteer, and she built a little buggy for him that we could get him up in the buggy and build his leg strength, and he'd scoot around and whatnot. And eventually, I mean, he got up and he's walking around and whatnot. And then we found out that his leg hadn't developed properly, so we've gotten like a brace kind of thing for him, so it's helping him move around now. And if he hadn't found us, he would have just been a throwaway. And now he's an intricate part of the family and cute as heck and just loves visitors.
And you have some visitors coming this week. Tell us about that group.
We do. We have kids from the big event coming on Saturday, and we're going to be putting in some new fencing or gates for our goats to help them give a little bit more area to roam around and gate them off from everybody else and divide them up. We have 2 young goats that are young'uns, and they're kind of wild, and so we kind of separate them out when we feed them. We have 2 older little goats, so they get their mash and whatnot separate, and then Bambi eats separate, and then Arthur and Percy, they're the young'uns, they eat someplace else because they're kind of wild. So
food insecurity, not just a human condition, is it?
No, yeah.
Is it?
They every day.
They compete every day for their share.
Yep. And if you snooze, you lose. So we try to keep Percy and Arthur in their own lane. Keep them in their own lane.
Well, Pam Brecken from Home on the Range Animal Haven in Studio 255, the Talk Shop, proud to share information on this annual fundraising event. It's hurrah for the holidays, November 1st, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Albany County Fairgrounds. There'll be crafts, games, discovery stations, food, fun, and more entertainment for all. You can get advance tickets from LaramieHomeOnTheRange.org. Pam Brecken, we appreciate you joining us here this morning in Studio 255.
Thanks.